Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be finishing up our first series on the coolant system, and believe it or not, our last thing we're going to be covering is actually the in-cabin heater. Yes, the in-cabin heater is actually run off of the coolant system, believe it or not. So if you haven't watched the previous videos on all the rest of the components of the cooling system, make sure to watch those first. Today I'm just going to be kind of going through that real quick. I'm not going to be diving into those parts specifically. Today is just going to be on the in-cabin heater itself. So let's dive right into it. So just a quick overview of how the coolant system works in general is you have your coolant located up here in your reservoir, and it's going to have antifreeze in it. The reason we use antifreeze is because it's better at dealing with cooler temperatures. So when you're freezing cold, it will still be able to work and not freeze up and ruin the engine. So that's going to get circulated throughout the whole engine. The way that works is through a water pump. The water pump is going to be a turbine that turns, and it's going to make all the coolant circulate through the whole thing. You're going to have a thermostat also. The thermostat will make sure that that coolant stays in the engine so it warms up faster. Once it hits a certain temperature, it's going to open up a valve that's going to get sent out, and that coolant will get sent to the radiator. The radiator is just a bunch of little fins here, so the coolant's going to come in the top hot, and it's going to kind of work through those fins there. As the air hits it through the front of your truck here or vehicle, that will actually cool down the coolant. It'll go out the lower hose, and it'll be recirculated through the engine again. That, in a nutshell, is actually going to be how your heater core works. So your heater core is actually just a smaller version of a radiator. It's going to be located behind your glove box in your vehicle, or sometimes in between the center dash like this. So it's going to be a really weird spot to get to. If you ever have issues with it, you're almost going to have to take the whole dashboard apart in order to get to it. There's usually not too many problems with it, but if you ever have issues with your heat not working, or it's not hot enough or anything like that, there might be something wrong with your heater core. So now, some of that coolant is actually going to make a detour from the engine into the heater core. There's going to be two hoses. They're usually about 1 inch in diameter that are going to be going into the heater core. There's going to be one that's going to have hot coolant going in, and one for the return cooler coolant going back into the engine. So your heater core, again, is just a smaller version of your radiator from up front. It's going to have tubes for the hot coolant to circulate through and fins to dissipate the heat. So in order to get that heat into the cabin now, you're going to have some air blowing across it. That's where your blower motor comes in handy. So that's going to be located right behind the heater core. So when you turn your fan on to whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, the higher you turn it up, the faster that motor is going to spin, the more air is going to get pushed across that heater core. And that's what's actually going to be pushing that heat into the cabin. So now, in order to regulate the temperature, they have things called blend doors, which are going to open and close to allow more air or more heat in, so it'll actually keep it at the right temperature that you're looking for. There's also going to be a different flap that's going to regulate how much air is coming from the outside and how much air is actually going to be recirculated from the inside of the cabin. So if you hit that button on your inside of your dash that says recirculate, that's going to just take the air from the inside and use that to get sent back through again. That's usually when you have your air conditioner on. You want to make sure that you're having it on recirculate, because otherwise you're going to be taking air from the outside that's hot and trying to cool it down instead of just taking the cold air from the inside and just recirculating it. It's a lot easier on your engine if you just recirculate. And if you have a modern vehicle, they'll have automatic temperature control, so you can just kind of set it and forget it. So there's going to be sensors inside the vehicle that will tell the computer what the temperature is, and to change it, it'll automatically adjust those blend doors for you. And lastly, there'll be another set of flaps there that will determine where the air is going to go. So if you want to set it to defrost, to your face, or to your feet, there'll be different doors there that will open and close depending on what you select. So there you have it, guys. There's just a quick overview on how your vehicle's heater works. Just a small tip now, if you're driving and it's cold out, don't just turn your heater on right when you turn your vehicle on, because again, as I just showed you, the vehicle needs to be warm in order for that coolant to be hot enough to produce heat to put into your vehicle. So if you turn it on right away, you're actually making the vehicle take a lot longer to get warmed up. So just make sure, wait till the vehicle gets running a little bit, drive it a little bit, and then turn on your heater. That way you're going to get heat a lot faster getting it into your cabin than you would if you just turn it on right away, and it's going to be a lot better for your vehicle. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'll be diving deeper into every system of the vehicle here at RTR, so make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.